Hi all, this is Copnet speaking. I hope you guys are well. This video is going to be a response to the video of Trish Payatas. In that respective video, we could see that she was totally distraught and upset. She was in a highly emotional state. In her video, she kept stating that she felt that the problems and issues that she was going through now, the hurdles with men, was probably some sort of a karma or some sort of a retribution from her past, because according to her she would strip or she would do other sort of things that would be considered immodest. She feels upset because she feels that whoever or whatever the guys that she hangs with or that she tries to get into a relationship with, she feels as if they're only using her just to get benefits out of her, whether it would be in the sexual sense or economic sense. She has made other videos somewhat similar, somewhat related to this, but this particular video struck me. First of all, Trish, I'm sorry that you're feeling this way. I understand perfectly what you're going through. And many of us women, surprisingly more than you can count, are going through the exact same thing you are. The men that they are interacting with are either using them from some sort of benefit or gain, and the minute that they get what they need, they go away. It's sad that such a pretty and attractive person and a nice person like you is going through this. To be honest, it's actually sad that if any woman goes through this, because we live in a society which is basically dominated by men. Even in this modern era where we use iPhones and Galaxy phones and iPods and MacBook Pros, etc., there's still that old mentality that a woman is property. Even though I know many of you are going to say that's not the case, but it is the truth. No, sweetie. So, as I was trying to say before, I would say, Trisha, basically I think you need to take a break from yourself, in a sense. You need to discover yourself. You need to find and build up your confidence. You need to, instead of looking for the right guy, make yourself the right person. Although I'm not saying that you're a bad person, you're a great person. You're sweet, you're funny, you're goofy, you're bubbly. You're not afraid to say what you think, you're not afraid to be yourself. I might not always agree with your political statements, but all around or religious statements, but all around your ethical statements and ideas and ideologies are perfectly good. But Trish, I also want to add a little bit of something which you might find rather bitter, but this is for basically your best interest. You're a beautiful and attractive woman inside and out. You have a really nice figure. A lot of us have seen your photographs, and they are very good. But some of them were not always the most presentable in a sense that it didn't really make you look like a lady. It kind of made you look like something else. I know you might understand what I'm talking about, certain photos of you in that Pamela Anderson impersonator getup. I don't want to go into details about that, etc., etc. These type of things give men mixed messages. They tend to see a woman basically more interested in exposing her body rather than her mind and her heart. And they basically use you because they think you're immodest and that you don't care. Which I know you do care. I know you do care. I know you are a Christian woman, and I know you care for your family, and I know you care for God. But I think you just have a difficulty trying to bring that out. You are an object of the media, and you are trying to keep a standard and keep your appearances up. And sometimes that will clash with your religious ideology. Sometimes you will have to act and dress in ways that might not be at one with your religion. And that's understandable. After all, your job is your job, your profession is your profession. But you should try and keep your profession and keep your religious things separate, in a sense that If you have to wear and act in such a certain way, I think it's best you should only use that in the professional sense. But when it comes to your everyday life, you should try to keep yourself as a lady. There are many arrogant women out there who like to show off their bodies and whatever and have their over arrogant attitudes, and they say, oh, so many men or women want us. But they forget to understand that lots of people prefer to buy cheap items over expensive items because they wouldn't have to put so much effort into them. Try to act more expensive. Try to act more of a lady of quality, which I know deep down you are. You're just having a difficulty showing it. I'm not saying for you to dress like an Amish person. And this is just the topic of dress. I'm not saying for you to dress like an Amish person, but you should dress yourself in such a way that it would give a person who's watching you an imagination. It would leave some room for the imagination. That doesn't mean you have to be conservative, you just have to be classy. And I know many of the outfits you have worn are indeed classy. You should just stick to that. I know in this modern era, girls would probably get very angry and say, "Oh, what are you stuck in the old days, etc., etc." But these are just simple suggestions, and they're not meant to insult or offend anyone. I was raised differently. We were all raised differently, and we need to be more open-minded to different things. Now, where it comes to relationships, that's very difficult to say because I myself, I don't really believe in dating. Being a, aw, come here, sweetie. He's trying to learn how to repair broken toys. Keep at it, sweetheart, you'll get it one day. Anyway, since I'm sort of a somewhat orthodox Muslim in a sense that I don't believe in dating, I don't believe in premarital sex. I believe in being married and only confining to your partner. And I believe you yourself have been celibate, Trish, and you also have adopted that sort of ideology. It's good that you have. It does eradicate a lot of problems in the later life. Although many people might disagree with me, but that's what you choose to do and that's what I choose to do. You have to make it very clear to the person that you want to be with that you have these ideologies and principles. Celibacy, righteousness, etc., etc. You have to make it clear from them from the very beginning and not down the road. It might be a bit painful to say goodbye to them in the first hand, but you'll be doing yourself a favor. Are there not any sort of Christian support groups that you could go to where there'll be men who share the same interests and beliefs you have? If there are, I suggest you go to them. I know there are a lot of Islamic support groups where I go where girls have and boys have the same ideologies. If that is with us, then I am certainly that is with you as well. All in all, I'm saying that basically don't give up. You're a young, pretty woman and you have the rest of your life to make that important decision. You don't need a man or a woman to validate you and make you feel beautiful. You've got to make yourself feel beautiful. Keep in mind, even if you're with a guy who praises you and calls you a goddess, but God forbid, what happens if you get into a car accident and you get horribly disfigured? What happens if you get cancer and lose a part of your face? Will you still have your guy? Would he be so superficial and just leave you for the next hot chick? You have to be beautiful for yourself and for no one else, Trish. And you have to find that certain person who's going to care for the inner you and not the outer you. The outer you is only a temporary shell. One day we all have to get wrinkled. One day we all have to lose our hair. One day we all have to eventually die and go back to our Creator, which is the theist point of view. Atheists, if you're watching it, please don't get offended. Please try not to. I think you need to spend some time with yourself, Trish. Get to know yourself better. Improve yourself in any way you can. You would know personally what you have to improve because you know yourself better than anyone else. Only you know what your faults are. Nobody else does. Only you know what your perfections are. No one else really does because you know yourself better than anyone else. Anyhow, Trish, all I can say is don't give up, keep your head strong, and like in the words from the Nutty Professor movie, no matter what, you always got to strut. I don't know if I said that right, but you get what I mean. Anyhow, God bless you, Trish. You'll be fine. As Muslims say, Assalamu alaikum.